We're excited to introduce you all to Man School. Man School is a little bit edgier. This is a show that we're not going to take any hold any punches. We're going to keep it clean, but at the same time, we're going to talk about issues that are current and pressing to us today in our world: business, social issues, just whatever comes to mind. And Man School, we've been working on it for 2 years, and we hope that's going to bring you a little bit of insight to what's going on inside of men's heads. So looking forward to it, and this is just the beginning. We're going to be starting full episodes coming in 2025, but this is a snippet that you can enjoy. Talk to you later. Enjoy. All I had in high school was high school. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the blessing for me personally in high school was ROTC. So I got,
Okay.
that was actually my whole high school career was saved and based and revolved around ROTC. That's
Wow.
another reason why I'm so regimented. Yeah, the whole 4 years. If it wasn't for ROTC, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for ROTC, oh Lord Jesus. I I mean like because I didn't learn. Only thing I learned in high school was, and the only thing I was involved in, only organization I was involved in was ROTC.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Got you.
saying? So I mean, I got the trips, the events, the functions, and that's why my whole focus was going to go into the military. And that's why when I
Yeah.
got permanently disqualified from the military, well, that's going to be a whole nother great conversation one of these times.
Right.
But when I got permanently disqualified from going into the military, I was lost because that was my plan. That was my
Yes.
whole plan. I'm like, I love this. I love this. With the trips and everything. That would have my best memories from high school are all in ROTC. If it wasn't for
Wow.
ROTC, I mean, I didn't go to that's the only way I got to go to any games. Only way I went to a basketball game in high school was with ROTC because to the function. So because we got to hold the wires and keep people off the court and stuff like that. I didn't go to
Okay.
no. I didn't go to not one football game unless they needed us to do something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to not. I didn't. You know. I had no functions outside of ROTC. In
Right.
high school. So if it wasn't for that, you know, high school wouldn't have been nothing. I mean, because they offered auto mechanics if but they must have offered it to certain people because they didn't offer it. They didn't say, hey, do you want to do this? I just saw some
Yeah.
guys go there. So I mean, so
Right.
by the time I was in high school, they already kind of guided people to, well, you're in ROTC, so that's where you're at. You're in automotive, so that's where you're at. You're in. I don't even know if our high school offered home ec. I imagine they might have. I mean,
Place
but
setting. They were place setting all the way back then. Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Which you know, this is knowing what we know now.
Yeah.
Now we have to really guide ourselves and those around us and our families differently.
Yeah.
We have to, back to like you said earlier, that video I sent you when the the young woman sent her child to because they didn't want, and that was interesting what she said. Her school sent a note home saying that they was gonna
Yeah.
sign to say that their children wouldn't use ChatGPT, and they said no, we're going to go ahead and take them up out of there, and we're going to put them over here into this AI school that you were talking
Now,
about.
now here's my question.
Hmm.
Why would a elementary school not want to make sure that a child knows how to use ChatGPT, know how to use AI when we're in an AI industry?
That's going to get rid of everybody who works at the school.
Facts. Facts.
Short answer, which
Right.
these other schools that are being, that she indicated, what I'm saying, these smaller micro schools and so forth, they're going to get rid of it anyway. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. That's why they're this is you know boy, I tell you what, and it all goes together. And that's why we have to make sure that we're so not just aware, but that we're part of, especially those that are still raising children. So like,
Yes.
the fact that you guys are raising still a young person, you guys are gonna have, even right now have decisions to make on, okay, how is this one going to be, educated as opposed to how these ones were educated, our first ones,
Right.
as opposed to, how, and when it comes to the school system, I saw this when our youngest finally graduated from high school, the past the last year and a half of his school career was rough on all of us. I mean, it was going so smooth, it was going so great, everything was going great. I'm over at the school, and then they changed the administration inside of the school. Long story short, they got rid of the principal who was actually cultivating the environment that was awesome that we wanted for our son. And then they brought in somebody who didn't care anything about the kids and only cared about the business of the school, the administration part of the school, the numbers
Yes.
and so forth. And you saw a rapid decline. I saw a
Right.
rapid decline in our son, and in every, I mean, it actually negatively affected my son. It
Right.
negatively affected him to the point where his last year, we were actually going to pull him out of school for his senior year and homeschool. Should have went
Okay.
ahead and did it. Should have. Well, not, but see, when you get to the senior year, it's like
Yeah, man.
just get through it. We'll get through it. But I went through the process. I went through. We was all set, but we gave him the decision. We said, "Do you want to, you want to do this, or you want to?" I was giving decisions at that point because
Yeah.
you know for the first part of his life, I wasn't giving, I was, making the decisions for you. You know what I'm saying? But I gave him the decision and he chose to, okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish it up in here. And boy, it was rough getting him up out of there. He almost didn't make it
Right.
that last year,
I
because
bet.
the whole administration and the whole ideology in that school shifted because they knew what they were about to do with the school going forward. Us parents didn't know, and plus those, getting, because long story short, last year of his last year of high school, he was in the school, but there was no school being done for him.
Right.
He just did what he wanted to do. He went around. He showed up in the school, and then just did what he wanted to do. And they made up their own mind, and they just did what they wanted to do. And there was no controls. There was no guidance.
Yes.
There was
Yes.
no guidance anymore. And that totally defeated the purpose of even sending them to that school in the first place. I could have just kept them at the regular school. You know what I'm saying? At the regular school and just let them, get through that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? For y'all to
Right.
turn this into the regular school right before what they were doing, they were deconstructing it and they were making it more exclusive. They were like, well, we still
Hmm.
got this, let's get the riffraff out of here even more so because it was a magnet school. So it was already, we already got the riffraff out or whatever. That's what their whole plan was in the first place, if we were being honest. But the fact of the matter is they wanted more of the riffraff out. They wanted the low income riffraff out now. Well, they wanted the but they
Ah.
weren't riffraff, but they were low income, intelligent. You know what I'm saying? But they were still low income. So we
Right.
wanted, they were reconstructing it into a model, that's more, conducive for exclusivity. But that's,
I got you.
but anyway, but I'm like, and that was then, that was, 10 years ago. That was 10
Wow.
years ago. I'm like, boy, I'm glad I don't got to deal with the school stuff no more. I'm like, oh, ooh, I'm glad. Fast forward to now, I'm like, you know, I mean, the fact of the matter is, parents are going to more rather have their children learning from AI than to send them to school anymore. And so
Right.
over the next year, I foresee more and more of those things happening anyway. You know what I mean?
I do. I really do. And it's
Yeah.
like, um, me personally, you know, I don't really care for the fact that how they have made it so that therefore the kids don't get a full, well-rounded education, you know, that is basically just one-sided.
Uh-huh.
And it's like for us being, black parents and whatnot, to have to give them, that black part of the education and whatnot, then it seems like, we're just targeting about basically, you know,
Mm,
your black culture that, you need to be informed on this. And then
uh,
some of them are actually feeling like, misplaced, like, well, why are they not actually trying to teach us this in regular school?
mm.
You
I
know?
feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
so
that.
it's
That's
like,
that's.
yeah, and it's like, because of the fact that, for whatever the reason,
Yeah.
the facts of being shamed and, and not really wanting you to be the best that you could possibly be, you know,
Yeah.
because if you have a well diverse, kind of like Chris Rock when he was actually having his genealogy,
Uh-huh.
examined by Gates Jr. and he found out that his grandparent was into politics, big time into politics, to where he actually had a Senate seat and everything like that, in the late 1800s, early 19.
Okay. Mhm.
And he was like, he actually stated, if I would have known this about my family, he said I might not have actually tried to be a comedian. I might have went to school to actually get my, you know, degree to become this type of, politician of some sort. He says, 'cause I
Mhm.
have an interest in it, you know,
Mhm.
and I didn't know why I was so, drawn to it. But
Mhm.
now that you didn't actually gave me this education and information, now I know why.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the kids don't, our kids don't get exposed to what it is that, that we actually have been, what is it? Um, torn down and torn away from our actual heritage.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Just look at what we've learned over just the past, 9.5 years. You
yeah,
know, just us. What we've
yeah,
learned about being black. I've been, you've been black for 52 years. I've been black for 50, almost 51 years. You know what
right.
I'm saying? I mean, and to say that I've learned more in the past, 8.5, 9 years about being black in
Yeah.
my America, is a travesty to say the least. I was thinking about, matter of fact, this is what I was going to call my sister about last night. It was interesting, but I forgot. I couldn't remember what it was. Now I just remembered though. It was, us growing up in our house. One thing about it is, and seeing as me and you both from Colorado Springs, you know what I'm saying, and even in my auntie's house, I'm pretty sure it was even more so. I don't. It's not that I don't even recall. I know for a fact we never got conversations in, our parents never conversated about, you're black, so this is how, white people are this and black people are this, and racism. And I never even heard the word racism come out of
Uh-huh.
their mouth to us, and even when things would happen though, even when things would happen, even when 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 my, what was it, second grade, I remember my second grade teacher or third grade teacher, called me the N word, and my sister heard her say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still oblivious. I'm like,
Yeah.
and she
Right.
went and told my father. My father came up to school and got involved in it and everything. I'm just like totally. I'm just like, and and got, he brought it to her. He brought it to the teacher and to the principal, and said, hey, we ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm still
Right.
like, okay, you ain't doing that. I mean, but he never came to me at home and said, do you know what happened, Robert? What she did was racism.
Uh-huh.
What she did was racially profile you, son, and you got to make sure that if somebody racist, never, the conversation was never had
Right.
with,
Right.
what I'm saying? I mean, even though it was happening around, obviously it was happening around because that happened, but the conversation about, we gotta make sure your black history. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Even, so having my father to write his autobiography,
Yes.
that's why his autobiography has been such a major book in our family, just in our
Yes.
family. For us, for your mother, for our aunts, for our cousins, who have bought and read it, for your sis, for your siblings who have read it, for y'all that have read it. His autobiography has been a part of our history that we didn't even know about, that we would have never
Exactly.
know about, that we would have never heard. Our cousin, when he first read it, and he read it like he got it, read it. He was like, now I understand and see, what I'm saying, now I have some clarity on you know what I've seen in our family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I'm like, that's what it's for. But I mean, like I said to you the other day, I mean, even today I read it. I mean, and I edited it and put it together and did the illustration. I mean, I've read it. I don't know how many times all the way through, but I still to this day it's like our family Bible. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? His story is like our family Bible, and I thank God that not only that he chronicled, but I know, the fact that I was able to, stimulate him to do it in the first place, and the fact that I got to, participate in him doing it, and I mean, to see it come together and to see our history and to get the explanation. So now I sit here today and I'm like, I know why I am where I am. I know why. I mean, I know where the struggle comes from. I know where the struggle, how real the struggle is, and it makes me like now, we need all their stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
We need all their stories. We could put the puzzles together to find out, not just where we came from, but what for and why. But I'm gonna tell you like this, cuz, and this benefits both of us. For me, I want to know all the way. I'm looking at the family tree that your wife so masterfully developed for us. You know what I'm
All right.
saying? And my goal in life is go all the way back as far as she can take us and find everything that was ours and claim it.
Right. Right.
Claim it. And go get it.
And
Go
go
get
get
it.
it. Yeah.
Go get it. You know what I'm saying? Everything that was ours and go get it. If there's a farm down in Kentucky that we was bred on, we're gonna go get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We're gonna go get that. What county was that? It was a county that we'll go get that. You know what I'm saying? And lay claim to what's ours.
Right. Yes.
Period. Period.
Facts.
Just start with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ain't being brand new and recreating the wheel. Go back and lay claim to what was ours. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna perform our own reparations. We're gonna go back, claim what was ours,
Right.
and then once we have that foundation of claiming what was ours, now we can build on that.
Yes.
Now we can build. Now we have a foundation to build on that, and now, but we also have the story. So now our children's children will have the information for back to the Black history, because we know this is not going to get taught at the level
No.
that we need for our children to learn it. Period.
Nope. Facts.
Period. Period.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Period. We're developing curriculum inside of our family. Boy, that's a preach. We're developing curriculum inside of our family that our family is going to be able to learn from in order for this. And this is the beginning part of the wealth that we're developing for our family. Because here's the reality. If we was to run out today for whatever reason and hit a lick and get $10 million, you know what I'm saying? Let's even stay with that 10 million. Now, when I started bringing that 10 million to the conversation 4 years ago versus 10 million today, it hit a lot different now, don't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
That 10 million, that 10 million don't even look the same. 10 million is million now. It's like 10 million. I can't even retire on that. The reality of it is, but if we would have had 10 million right now,
Yep.
just how to utilize it, how to grow it, how to manifest it, how to make it grow, how to turn that 10 million into 100 million. Or the reality of it is in this current situation that we've been in for the past, years before, that 10 million would have been, 9 million, 8 million, 7 million, 2 million, 1 million, $100,000. Like, how you ain't got no money today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I had to pay off these bills. I had to go be out the dub, and then we went to Disneyland one time, and then we had to go to do the thing. And then, we did get that one house, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know nothing about how we're going to get that house. And then we're going to do this. We got that, we paid off those debts of the kids, and we paid off the debts. So you went and took that 10 million and gave it back all back. You went and stimulated the economy with that 10 million instead of growing that 10 million.
Right.
Manifesting that 10 million and building your base and strengthening your foundation with that 10 million. So that's what you did. Which,
Yep.
for normal people, status quo, that's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? That's why God's got the parable of the talents in the Bible. What you're supposed to do is not, you're supposed to grow it and manifest it. You're supposed to put it to work. You're supposed to put it to work. You're supposed to make that money, make money for it.